Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thinking Like a Bank, where we show you how to think like a bank using the same strategies and principles that banks use to help you find more financial freedom in your life. I'm your host, Sarah Ibrahim. So some of the core principles we talk about of thinking like a bank include having safe and predictable income, investing or owning real estate, saving on taxes or lowering your tax liability, entrepreneurship, and scaling your business. And for today's episode, I really want to talk about scaling your business and growing your business, and primarily through marketing. And of course, since we are in the year 2021, I want to talk about growing your business via online marketing or digital marketing, also known as social media marketing or social media marketing. And I have with us today a very special guest who's an expert in this space and who's going to share some of his knowledge on how we could do this in today's world, in today's marketing world. His name is Rouan Kruger. Rouan Kruger is the host of the Thrive Factor podcast. He's a board certified pharmacist turned lifestyle entrepreneur, and reveals all of the strategies seeking out strategies to truly find what it takes to make you thrive. I was actually a guest on his show on the Thrive Factor, and we talked about bank on yourself. So check out that episode after we do this one. And I have with us today Rouan. Rouan, welcome to the show.
Sorry, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It's really nice to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I know your background is more extensive than what I just mentioned. So do you mind sharing with us more about your background and how you got into this?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Johannesburg in South Africa as and grew up in this area. And then my background is pharmacy. I studied pharmacy, which is a 4-year degree. It's 4 years and then 1 year of internship, so 5 years in total. And my career started off in mainly in hospitals and the private sector. And my career spanned mainly in South Africa, the UK, and in the UK I worked in the NHS, and then in the United States I worked as a pharmacist for Rite Aid for a few years. And I got to a point where I was working long hours and I didn't really want to carry on working as a pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
So like any other person who looks for a way out of their day job, I joined a network marketing company. And this company was in the travel industry, so I love travel as well. So it involved travel and building a team and learning some good business skills. I think network marketing companies are really good for learning good business skills, and also learning how to control your mindset as well, and learning mindset as well. Mindset is a big part of being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that is important is the mindset that you learn from being an employee to going to an entrepreneur is very different. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're an employee, you kind of get paid for your time. If you're an entrepreneur, you get paid for results, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my network marketing journey, I enjoyed it, but I didn't really enjoy selling products to my friends and family. And I decided to look at the online space, the online marketing space, digital marketing, as a way of growing influence and building a business out of that. And what I found was that certain social media, especially like Instagram in 2017, 2018, that was kind of the new go-to social media, especially for people who are kind of tired of being on Facebook. And although Facebook has always been the bench standard for social media, Facebook's algorithm changed overnight. So a lot of people who had thousands of followers on their Facebook pages kind of lost that. And I think digital marketing is a way to start a business where you don't need a lot. We don't need a lot of money to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for something where you can grow or start a business, digital marketing is probably one of the best models that you can look at. So going from network marketing to digital marketing was quite an easy fit for me, because again, digital marketing and network marketing, you don't always need high startup costs.
Mm-hmm.
If you are working if you wanted to buy a franchise, for example, it's gonna cost you maybe $2-3 million to buy a franchise, and then it's going to take you 3 or 4 years to turn a profit. So you could do the same, I think, with an online business that's that your startup costs are far lower. So that's how I kind of got into digital marketing, social media marketing, and the e-commerce space.
Okay. Now, do you help people, like, for example, if somebody's a lawyer or an accountant, right? Could you help them find more customers online? Is that one of the things that you can help with?
Yes. So when it comes to online marketing, there's a couple of models that you can do. There is social media marketing, which is, again, quite a broad subject, but social media marketing involves a very different sort of avenues. So you can be an agency that runs content creation for brands or for businesses if they want to build their online business, if they want to build their brand awareness. So you can do content creation on social media, or you can also do, yes, you can do what they call return of investment or lead generation for small businesses. That is another avenue that you can do with social media marketing. And also you can do Facebook advertising or Google advertising campaigns for companies if they want to, depending on what they want to do, if they want to have more customers, if they want to grow their sales. And then you can do that organically, or you can do it through paid advertising as well. So that is one aspect of social media or online marketing. The other model that you can use is affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing is where you promote somebody else's product and you get a percentage of that product sale. So popular social media marketing affiliate programs are things like Amazon, Amazon sellers. You could sell software like ClickFunnels. You know, that's a very good affiliate program. There's thousands of affiliate programs that you can get involved with. The third model of online or digital marketing is selling physical products online. So you can either grow a brand yourself, or you could do something called drop shipping, which is basically where you sell other people's products, but you get a sale from that product, but you don't keep any inventory through your store. So you create an online store like a Shopify store. You can create a brand, and e-com at the moment is exploding because everybody's at home. So that is another way that you can build an online business, is through selling physical products. You can also create the other avenue that I was going to say. You can also create digital courses. So you can create digital products instead of physical products. So digital products can be your own. Again, you can partner with somebody to create a joint venture, or you can you can create your own digital products. You can also do a mixture where you sell physical and digital products. So there's quite a few different ways that you can have an online business.
Okay. Yeah, I've been seeing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, carry on. Sorry.
I was saying the digital products are becoming more popular, like courses. It's a way to kind of sell more. Like, for example, let's say, you know, in our case, infinite banking specialists or bank on yourself specialists, you know, a lot of other professionals, what they do is they just make courses and then sell those courses. Instead of having to sell their time or their actual meeting, they would sell the course and then package the course out together. And then even in some situations, they'll have an affiliate marketer. So they'll tell an affiliate marketer, like, I don't know what the percentages are, like, you know, 10% or 20% of whatever the revenue is, you would get that for helping sell the course. And then another reason why they do that too is because, like, for example, let's say right now my services are only limited in the United States, but if I have an online course that I'm selling, I could sell that to anyone in the world who speaks English. Essentially, if the program or the course is in English, I could sell it to anybody in the world who speaks English. And these are kind of cool things that stretches what you know right now, what you're doing, to a whole different level. And I love the fact that you're in South Africa, because we can have these international conversations, you know, about on a much higher level, even though I think a lot of your clients, right, are in the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Most of my clients are in the United States and Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. It's like a digital course can definitely be leveraged to kind of build your brand as well. So there's different types of digital courses that you can create. You can create what we call one-to-one, or one-to-few, or one-to-many. So one-to-one might just be a simple coaching program. A one-to-few could be a coaching program with what we call office hours. So those office hours could be like a Facebook group, or a once a week coaching strategy with you. So you create the course with different modules, and maybe and maybe some interaction with your clients. The third type of course you can create is one-to-many, which is normally what they call your signature course. So these are the kind of higher, and these courses are kind of the higher end. So you're looking at maybe like $1,000 to $2,000 courses. That's is quite comprehensive. And again, those courses you would provide maybe some level of coaching as well. So it's the online space for knowledge, what we call knowledge brokers, and it has become massive. That's such a valuable skill that you can learn. You can build a whole business just with online courses, and you don't always have to be the expert. You can just be 10% better than the person that's just starting out. It's not always about you being the expert. It's about you providing value to your customers or to your tribe. And the way that you do that is by over delivering on your product. And there's always ways that you can over deliver on your product. You can do that through providing some bonuses for your tribe, or for your people that follow you. You can build in like a once a week Facebook group coaching that you can do for free after the course is over. And a lot of people forget that once they have existing customers, they don't always have to go and get new customers. They can look after the existing customers. So the way that you can scale your business through that is by perhaps building another course, or providing a subscription service where people get coaching from you once a month, and you do a training on maybe on webinars, or how to do LinkedIn marketing or something like that,
Okay. Yeah. And I did hear that I think it's like it costs you 10 times more to get a new customer than keep an existing customer. So that's like the ratio. That's how important it is to keep customers.
Yeah. I mean, in e-com, the way to get more customers is obviously either to get new customers, to increase the cart value of your existing customers, or get your customers to visit your website more frequently and make more frequent purchases. But yeah, you're absolutely right in terms of your current customers. It's easier for them to maintain those than acquiring a new customer. It costs a lot of money to acquire a new customer sometimes. And those people with the highest marketing budgets, who can afford to pay the most for acquiring new customers, are always the people who win. So the small guy, it's important that you look after your existing customers, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a cost of acquisition. It's a CPA, right? Cost per acquisition. And like in the insurance and financial services world, we would do it like, for example, if one lead costs you $100 and you bought 10 leads, it's $1,000. And if one of those converts a 10% conversion rate, then it costs you $1,000 to acquire one customer. Is that the right math or the right formula?
Yeah. It's the same in marketing. I mean, cost per acquisition or cost per conversion. I mean, depending what you're optimizing for. So if you're optimizing for customers, it will be cost per acquisition. If it's getting people to click on your website, it might be cost per conversion, or cost per click. But the principles are the same. You kind of have to work out how much it costs you to acquire a new customer. And always, if you're looking at conversions, it's pretty much the same across the board. It's if you get a 2 to 3% conversion, that's pretty good. And then it's a numbers game. Then you have to kind of look at I always use the baseball analogy where you bat, right? And if you have a batting average of 300, that means you're out 7 out of 10 times, but you're still getting the big bucks because you're getting that batting average, which is the same in marketing. It's a numbers game, but you have to know your numbers. You have to know the data. If you don't know how to read data in marketing, then it's difficult to run a profitable business. The thing with marketing is with especially with Facebook is it's become quite difficult to always get accurate sort of results with Facebook, just because Facebook changes a lot of its algorithms all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's best to diversify your marketing strategy so that you don't just rely on Facebook
Of course.
to build your business.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use other platforms like Google, Pinterest, TikTok now has also just brought out advertising. So there's a whole bunch. The thing is, if you're a business, you have to kind of maybe focus on one or two strategies to work first, and then you can kind of look at other strategies. So a great way to also not, if you're scared that you're going to lose your customers because of algorithm changes, is that you can build a database of an email list. And email is still a fantastic platform. It's probably still the best platform to build an online business, because that's an asset that you control. It's not something that's controlled by an algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that it's internal to your company. Like your email list, for example, if you have 1,000 emails in your database, those are yours. You keep them. That's, even like you said, an asset. And in some situations, companies sell their businesses based off of their email list or the client base. So it's something that you can add on to the value of the business, because the new business owner is going to know, hey, we have 1,000 real subscribers, and not just a list. And I want to talk about that. Like, so for example, to collect email addresses, I guess there's two major ways to do that. There's an opt-in way where people opt in through your website, or they go through, like, for example, a Facebook ad, they click on there, they opt in, or there's an opt-in. So in other words, opt-in way. And then there's a non-opt-in way, I guess, a unsolicited way, where you just found their email address through online, or you just search for, or even worse, you bought it through a third-party vendor. And I guess those two have huge differences, right? Can you touch on the differences and like the importance of either one of those, and why one is more important than the other?
So again, it comes to strategy. So cold email is something that's illegal in the United States, and in most other countries around the world, you have to opt in first, whereas in America you opt out. So so the Spam Act is something that controls cold email, but cold email is still quite a valuable way to get leads. It's, if you do it through LinkedIn, if you do it through cold email campaigns, then obviously you have to make sure that the emails that you collect, it's clean. It's a clean list, because sometimes Google have become quite strict in that they would shut you down if you spam people. So for me, it's kind of black hats and white hats sort of strategy tactics. So for me, a better tactic is to get a customer through where an opt-in email, where you provide value to them first. So for example, you're an expert in banking, so maybe giving them a little info sheet about what funds they can invest in exchange for the email, or a strategy session with you. Maybe you give away a free strategy session with yourself, to talk about the best investing strategy for them. I mean, that's how most online businesses work. If you look at dentists, if you look at doctors, they might offer a free consultation in exchange for their email. But the value is going to be, because the customer, if you provide a good service, the customer will come back to you. So that to me is a better way of acquiring customers. But cold email is something that people still use to get customers. It's not unusual for companies to do that. But LinkedIn, I would say, is a fantastic platform for if you really want to build a great, if you really want to connect with the right people, LinkedIn is probably one of the best, because you connect directly to, if you want to reach CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, CTOs, those are the people that you can reach directly on LinkedIn through their premium programs. For example, like LinkedIn Premium, you can use what they call email messages to connect with people. And you're not spamming them, you're kind of creating you're creating value for them first, and creating connection in that way. The other one is LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is a great way to build connections on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So those to me are a little bit of a better way to build leads on, if you're looking for leads, and that's a better lead generation strategy. Another way that you can generate leads is through Gmail.
Mhm.
Actually, Gmail has like it has what they call an in email adverts that you can use to connect with people. And also platforms like Yelp, for example. Yelp is a great way to connect with local businesses. If you're looking for local businesses to connect with you, or then Yelp is a great platform to use.
Mhm.
Pinterest is also a different type of social media. It's not really regarded as a social media, it's regarded as a search engine,
Mhm.
but it connects to a certain type of person who's looking for more of a visual experience. But it's a great way to connect with people as well. And Pinterest is also a fantastic underutilized platform that people don't always use. But if you're like a brand who is, say, you have an apparel brand, or if you're if you have a jewelry brand, then Pinterest is a great platform to promote your products. So there's different. You have to look at what the culture of the social media is, or the platform is, and you kind of have to fit into that social media culture, because if you don't, you're not going to get traction. That's the mistake a lot of people make when they try and post and repurpose content from YouTube to TikTok. It's a
Mhm.
very different type of platform.
Mhm.
So, and even the video format is different.
Mhm.
So you have to kind of fit in with the culture of the
Mhm.
social media that you want to use.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and each one has its specialty. Instagram is
Absolutely.
different from Facebook, and that LinkedIn is completely different than those two, and Twitter has its purposes. And I think, like you said, you want to kind of master like a few of them, like get really used to like maybe one or two of them, and then you
Yeah.
can kind of start going into like a more of a wider approach. Like for example, I see people on Snapchat that'll post stuff, and then they'll post their Instagram link in Snapchat. And then this way they're going from Snapchat to Instagram. And then in Instagram, they might have a landing page that goes somewhere else. So it's kind of like a funnel that from in various ways that they're not just relying on one source of social media, but they understand each one and each culture and each function, like each purpose for each type of social media.
Absolutely. And you can also repurpose content. So, for example, you could cut up your YouTube video into
Mm-hmm.
snippets and thumbnails, and then put that on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But make it native to the media there.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, you could also take a podcast. You can take a podcast
Mm-hmm.
and transcribe it, and use that transcription into a blog. You
Mm-hmm.
can then repurpose the blog into a book. So there's different ways that you can
Mm-hmm.
repurpose content, but the key is to kind of manage maybe one or two,
Mm-hmm.
master one or two platforms. Take 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
master one or two platforms that you can use your business, or you want to promote your business on. And then you can scale up your business if you want to outsource some of the activities. It also depends what you want to sell. Obviously you need a product or a
Mm-hmm.
service to sell on social media, or digital media. So you have to decide what model you want to do, what type of business you want to run, and get very clear about who your customer is, who's your ideal customer. So for example, where do they live? What sort of things do they do? What are their interests? What are their hobbies? A lot of the mistake that people make, for example, with when they hire social media marketing agencies, is that social media marketing agencies goes through for what they call low-hanging fruit. So you want to you must understand the customer journey about where they are. Like, there's different stages. For example, most people may not be interested in your product, so you then have to kind of create your messaging so that you can tailor make your messaging to those people. the 3% that is ready to buy is actually very low. So for example, if you have social media marketing agencies that run advertising campaigns to the 3%, once that 3% is finished, then the 97% that you have not marketed to, you know, your client is going to run out of customers, or they're going to run out of leads. So you have to market your product or your services to 97%. So there's different ways of different messaging that you want to use in different campaigns to get the customer to that buying point, you know. And it takes more than, you know, they say 7 touch points, but actually I think it takes a little bit more than that, you know. So getting clear about who your ideal customer is, getting clear about, you know, who your ideal avatar is very important for running a successful online business. And you know, you can't, I would say, like, if you want to run a digital marketing agency that specializes in lead generation, then you have to be you can generalize as a lead generation agency, but it's good to try 1 or 2 industries first and get some success there. Get some, if you're a new marketing agency and you don't have any clients, go and get some clients. Go to businesses that have, you know, that have maybe they're looking for marketing, right? So go and say to them, look, I'll provide you marketing for free for a month or 2. If I get you some results after a month or 2, then you can pay me a retainer, you know. So that is a good way how you can go and get clients, is by actually providing some of your services for free first, so that you can also become skilled at that type of social media marketing. If you're doing things like content creation, you know, there's different ways you can do it. You can have an in-house team, you can outsource it, you know, there's different ways that you can go about that. So it's quite a, social media marketing is a very wide range of, it involves a lot of things. A lot of people think it's just one thing. It's not. It's, you know, then you can become like a social media manager if you want to run other people's social media. You know, that's a whole different ball game as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a whole, like, a social media manager, that's a whole position in of itself, just responding to comments and posting the content, and even in some situations like graphics and dealing with graphic designers. And like you said, it's not just a one type of, like, I think maybe like in the 90s people would say, like 20 years ago people would just say like internet marketing, and then it would just be like one thing, you know. And then obviously in today's world that means so many things, you know, people, some things that we haven't even, some platforms we haven't probably even heard of, especially in different parts of the world, you know. So yeah, definitely. And I like all the knowledge you're sharing a lot. It's definitely opening up my eyes in different ways. And even like as you're talking, I'm writing down ideas, because things I didn't know about, like repurposing, you know, and like making a blog out of from a podcast. And this is all really creative, because, and I think that's really important too, because people have different ways of learning, right? Like some people probably only like to read, whereas some people don't want to read and they like to just drive and listen to things. And then maybe some people too like to watch videos and see more of a visual thing. When you repurpose your content, you get to address all 3 of those ways of learning, all from the same content.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, some people love audio. So a podcast is where you can spend 45 minutes with somebody and somebody might listen to you, and they think maybe maybe one day they meet you in person, they'll say to you, hey, I know you, like, you know, because you have this great connection with your audience. So podcasting is definitely a fantastic platform to, it's also a great platform if you're building an email list, because the algorithm is, podcasting algorithms is not so much influence like maybe social media has been, you know. The other thing I was going to say about email lists is that it's, again, it's one of these assets that's yours. So you don't have to, it's not, somebody can't take it away from you. So your mindset should be every day, if you're in the social media marketing space, or in the digital marketing space, is what happens if my business disappears overnight? Do I have the skill set to be able to start from scratch and build my business up again? And if you have an email list, that is valuable, because that is something that's already yours. So you can start again with your email list, and you can build your email list. You can ask your email list, your ideal customers, what is it that they want? You know, what products and services do you want to create for them?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sometimes, you know, we create products that people don't want. You know, you must always create something that people ask for, not that you think they want. You know, so for example, that's where like a Facebook group is really valuable, because you can ask your audience, you know, like, what's, if you're going on a keto diet, or if your Facebook group is about the keto diet, right? So what is it you want to, what is it you want me to create in the keto diet? So some people may say, well, I want a cookbook, or I want recipes, or I want a nutrition plan, you know. So these are all things that you can ask your audience. So anytime you build an online business, creating an email list is one of the most, it is probably one of the most essential things you must build, is that, so that you can, even if somebody does not opt into your product or your services, that it's a way for you to educate your customer, not spam them. This is not spamming. This is providing value. This is nurturing for your clients. And then, you know, once you've built that relationship and that trust with them, it's you know, then you can really build a profitable business. The other skill that writing emails takes is copy, right? So being a good copywriter. So that's another skill that you might have to master when you start an online business, is the copywriting, because it's the words on paper, that, or the words on a computer screen, that's actually moves people to a buying decision. So that is another skill that you may have to learn. The biggest thing that I think people suffer from in online business is the fact that they think it's going to be a quick process. And yes, sure, maybe in e-com, you know, if you start a drop shipping store, you might get some early success. But if you don't know how to build an email list, if you don't know how to run Facebook ads, if you don't know how to run maybe outsourcing to scale your business, it's going to become a problem. Sorry. So these are all things that you need to learn. You don't always need to learn every single skill. You can outsource that, but you know, I would say if you're starting out as a solopreneur, as a solo person in a, say you're starting your own digital marketing agency, learn those skills, because, you know, the thing is, you can always, if your agency is struggling maybe to get business, is that you can go and freelance yourself, where you can actually then earn income while you still while you're still building your agency. And then you can also find on websites like, let's say People Per Hour or Fiverr or Freelancer, you can find people that are highly skilled as specialists. So you can find somebody who's a YouTube ads specialist, or a somebody who is a Facebook content creator. And you can build a team of people where you don't actually ever have to meet them in person. You can build a great team. And then if there's a project that somebody may put out, you can actually bid on that project. And this is what we call drop servicing. So drop servicing is like drop shipping, but with services. So you're outsourcing the services to the client, you know, but the client doesn't have to know that. The client, if you get a client and they hire you as an agency, you can do that. I'm going to say to you though, if you are an agency, an established agency, then maybe don't go and outsource your Facebook ad content creation. Hire somebody or train somebody in-house to do that. So you may have to freelance first to get the team, and then once you start scaling your business, then you can train somebody in-house to do these things for you. So that so that's how you build a digital marketing agency, is through scaling, but maybe training people in-house how to do a lot of these things. And then you can charge bigger, you can charge bigger contracts and bigger rates, you know. But if you learn these skills yourself,
Mhm.
it's what we call high value skills, right?
Mhm.
It's, if you look at the marketplace, people who get paid the most are the people that bring the most value to the market.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you are a person who brings a lot of value to the markets, you're going to get remunerated at a higher rate. So if you have digital marketing is one of the, I suppose, is one of the trending, or e-com is one of the trending sort of business models to be in right now
Mhm.
because of the pandemic. And it's going to be like that for a long time, because I think people realize that they don't have to work from an office anymore.
Mhm.
So, if you pivot your business to the online space, and you have skills like marketing or digital marketing, or running campaigns, or how to generate leads for people or small businesses, those are high value skills that's going to be in demand for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you mentioned something earlier. I want to touch on it. It's like when you have a list already, an email list, not only because you have control over that list, but also this is important too, because let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, let's say you have an email list of thousands of email addresses, and you are in the e-commerce space, and your list trusts you, they like you, there's a personality behind you. It's not just a company, but there's a personality behind you. And then hypothetically speaking, something happens in e-commerce where it's a problem and that industry is shot now, then you can transition into another industry, but bring your client base with you. You don't have to start all over from scratch again. You could even introduce that. You could tell your client base, like, hey, there was a problem in e-commerce now. I've now transitioned into this industry or this space, and then they'll follow you to that space. So client bases are way more important than the actual industry itself.
Yeah, one thing I would say is, if it's going to be an industry, maybe it might be in an industry that's kind of related to what your email list is.
Mhm.
If you're a chicken farmer, and then you start, and you're selling people products about how to create a profitable chicken farm, and then you go into how to become an AI specialist, and you're going to try and market that to chicken farmers list, that's probably not going to work. But if you're say you're in marketing, or you're marketing to small businesses, and an e-com business, and that doesn't work, if you then start marketing to a SaaS business, software as a service
Yeah,
business,
that makes more
then
sense. Yeah.
your email list is going to be more congruent to to your list than just the complete opposite.
Mhm.
But again, the same principles apply. So you could probably, if you wanted to go in that field, you could probably go and get knowledge in that field.
Mhm.
And again, you don't have to be the expert. You can be the interviewer, so you can be the reporter, so you can gather information, and then you can invite people who are the experts. And then by the time you have interviewed people and you've gathered information about people, people will perceive you as the expert.
Mhm.
So again, I know a guy who started a keto Facebook group, and he was not he was a digital marketer, but he started this group. All right, so he had some skills, because he knew how to start a Facebook group, but he knew nothing about the keto diet.
Mhm.
But what he did was, which was really clever, was him and his wife, they went and they got certified as nutritional coaches. And then they just started this keto group, and they asked their audience again, what is it that you want in this? What is it that you want? And they said, no, we want information about keto recipes. So that's what they did. They went and got keto recipes, information about that. And they blew up the Facebook group to, you know, 10,000, 20,000 people. And Facebook at the moment is very much about, communities.
Mhm. Mhm.
So Facebook is actually promoting that you start a Facebook group quite a lot.
Mhm.
So yeah, so they blew up this group to quite a high number of people, and it became very profitable for them. So you can start from scratch again. You just have to get the right information, and then the right strategy to build your business up again. That's the beauty of I suppose, if you know how to if you know how to market to the right people, and you know how to have that skill, you can do it. It's not the idea that you have to be an expert in everything is false. You know, you
Mhm.
can be the expert. No, there's nothing wrong with being the expert in your field, but you don't have to be. And again, if you're creating, for example, if you're creating an online course, say I have the audience and you have the knowledge, you know, we can do a joint venture where I say to you, okay, Sari, you're gonna create a course on investing in index funds, right?
Mhm.
And I have the audience. I might say maybe my audience is not in banking, but they might be entrepreneurs, or they might be looking to invest their money, or they're making a lot of money. So I can partner with you, and I say to you, okay, let's do a joint venture. So a revenue split. So 50-50. You create the course,
Mhm.
I market your course,
Mhm.
I have the audience.
Mhm.
It's a win-win for everybody. So that's another way that you can start an online business, is where you do joint ventures with people. You don't have to be the expert. You know, you can be the person who even brokers the course
Mhm.
course
Mhm.
creation.
Mhm.
So you can go to somebody and say, look, I think you have great knowledge. Let me help you create this course, and then you get a percentage of the revenue. The
Mhm.
beauty about a digital course is that you only have to create it once, and it can work for you for years and years and years and years. Especially if you create evergreen content, you know, like how to build an email list, how to influence people, how to
Mhm.
build a brand. You know, that is another way that you can that you can build your online business. The other thing I just wanted to say is, you know, if you're in the online space, you also may want to distinguish yourself
Mhm.
between if you want to build a personal brand
Mhm.
or if you want to build an online business. So sometimes those two are interchangeable and sometimes they are not.
Okay.
If you're looking to build a personal brand, you know, building a personal brand is also very powerful, because once you have a successful personal brand, then the opportunities that you get that come to you is a lot easier.
Mhm.
So if you have a big following, or if you're well known, speaking opportunities, maybe writing a book, or creating a course, it becomes a lot easier.
Mhm.
So, you know, building a personal brand is also something that you can do as an online entrepreneur on top of what you're already doing. You know, so you can build a business that's a e-com business, that's maybe a drop shipping business that's building you revenue, and then you can start building your personal brand, where you can, talk about, whatever you want to influence people
Mhm.
on. You also have to decide what you want to influence people on. So many people want to be influencers, but they don't know what they want to influence. You know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Um, so if you want to influence people on a certain subject, then decide what it is. And if you want to build a personal brand on it, then build your personal brand.
Mhm.
That's You see that a lot in these days. You know, look at somebody like Grant Cardone, for
Mhm.
example. Grant Cardone is billionaire. He's a billionaire or a property investor, but Grant Cardone is also Grant Cardone,
Mhm.
the marketer,
Mhm.
the guy who bought a jet airplane, the guy who's 10x Mr. 10x. You know,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
that's his that's his brand, right? So it's very powerful. It can be very powerful.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Now let's say somebody was listening to this and they are like a small business owner and they're in the service-based world. So, for example, they're a lawyer, an accountant, a financial planner, financial advisor, investment advisor, like small business owner, service-based. What are the best ways for those people to grow their businesses online?
Okay, so yes, I mean, there's different ways.
Okay.
There's obviously, there's the traditional way, cold email, maybe,
Mhm.
cold calling.
Mhm.
I mean, cold calling is still a thing. It's not everybody thinks it's dead. It's not. It's still very
Yeah.
profitable. But online marketing is a great way to do that. So, for example, you could probably hire a agency,
Mhm.
somebody that specializes I would go for an agency that specializes in return on investment lead generation. So lead generation agencies or social media agencies or digital marketing agencies that specialize in. Sometimes you find a lot of agencies, they very big and they're excellent, don't get me wrong, but the attention may not be there because they're so big. So you might want to find somebody that's a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit more bespoke, or custom, as you Americans say. Custom to lead generation. And then, you know, you can run strategies on Facebook, on YouTube, on even platforms like you know, even like still like traditional local, like Yelp, for example, like local search engines, you know, where you can get local sort of traction. SEO is like that's something we haven't even talked about. SEO, like you can get somebody who, you can get a specialist SEO company that gets your company listed in the as the top realtor or the top lawyer in Boston, or the top you know, whatever in Chicago, you know. And then you can generate leads that way, you know, providing free strategy sessions or providing a free training if you're a realtor, you know, maybe providing them give them a valuable training on how to evaluate property in Chicago. If you're a dentist, giving them a free cleaning, maybe in exchange then maybe for their email. And you know, if you provide a good service, most likely is that customers will go back to you because they trust you, you know. And if you're local, if you are a local business, then it might be even easier because, you know, you're a local business. And people, I think a lot of people still like to support their local businesses, you know. I think obviously there are people that always want to go to the biggest and the best, but I think a lot of people, especially in this pandemic, wants to support their local businesses. So if you're a restaurant, you can give away a discount coupon to a meal, and you can then get them on a list, or you can give them, say, maybe a 2-for-1 special on a Thursday on drinks and a burger or something like that, you know. So those are ways that you can generate customers. There's lots of different ways you can do it.
Smart way. Yeah, that's that kind of like to give the free giveaway first in exchange for their email, and then hopefully, you know, many other ways. But yeah, I like that, the kind of to get, and these are all methods too, like even in traditional marketing too, just to get your phone ringing, just to get people in the door, you know. And I know, Rouan, I could keep talking about this all day about this subject. I love marketing. A lot of my work involves marketing, so I have to be up to date on these things. Now, how can people connect with you to learn more about you and to hopefully work with you in the future? How can they connect with you?
Oh yeah, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, they can connect with me on I have an agency by the name of High Impact, and they can reach me at www.highimpactagency.com. And I'm on LinkedIn and Rouan Edwin Kruger. I also have my own podcast called The Thrive Factor. So yeah, LinkedIn, Rouan Edwin Kruger, Instagram, KMI Rouan. So on all the social media platforms.
Okay, perfect. I really appreciate you being on. Hopefully the listeners can reach out to you. And then just to be clear, can they reach out to you for like a free consultation? Is that how it typically works?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. They can just email me or connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn, either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And because you're in South Africa, is the best way to talk usually like over Zoom or WhatsApp or?
Yeah, Zoom is probably the most effective these days.
Okay.
Yeah, Zoom is a great. I mean, Skype is also something one can use.
Okay.
But I mainly use Zoom. So, you know, we can set up a Zoom through Calendly. You know, I have a Calendly link, so they can just use that if they wanted to
Okay,
connect.
perfect. Perfect. And I'll be sure to add all these links in the show notes, so this way people can just click on it. Rouan, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to having you back on the show and reconnect with you soon.
Sarah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, my friend. Take care. Cheers.
To learn more about what we do and how we can help you grow more wealth, please visit www.finassetprotection.com. That's FIN assetprotection.com. The topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purposes of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.